As South Korean media remains saturated with controversy surrounding Kim Soo-hyun's personal life, Kim Se-ron, and an endless cycle of accusations and counter-accusations, an old media ghost has suddenly resurfaced. A rumor about a psychiatrist allegedly connected to several late Korean celebrities, including Sulli, Goo Hara, Jonghyun, and Kim Se-ron. Yet what is more disturbing than the rumor itself is how online communities have once again transformed personal tragedy into fuel for a fresh wave of entertainment gossip, with IU unexpectedly cast as the newest villain in the internet's courtroom. The controversy reignited after users on X resurfaced an old post criticizing psychiatrist Kim Jong-il, who was rumored to have treated several high-profile celebrities. A self-identified former patient claimed they had been prescribed an overwhelming number of medications, between 10 and 15 pills a day, with prescriptions allegedly increasing whenever new symptoms were discussed. Even more alarming were accusations that the doctor's words deepened emotional despair instead of providing healing, recounting stories of patients secretly dying by suicide abroad and using disturbing narratives that allegedly intensified hopelessness. It took only a few posts for the internet to do what it arguably does best: construct a complete narrative from fragments of unverified claims. A theory quickly emerged. If this doctor had indeed treated celebrities who later died, could he have unintentionally, or, in darker speculation, deliberately, contributed to their tragic endings? The speculation accelerated when online users revived excerpts from Jonghyun's farewell letter. In it, the late SHINee singer expressed frustration toward a doctor who reportedly whispered that his suffering stemmed from his personality. There was no name, no concrete identification, no verifiable evidence. Yet once again, the internet rushed to fill the silence with assumptions. Before long, an increasingly dangerous conclusion took shape: that doctor must have been Kim Jong-il. The problem is that, online, the distance between suspicion and certainty is often only a few reposts apart. No investigation has officially confirmed wrongdoing. No medical records have been publicly disclosed. No verified testimony has definitively connected the doctor to misconduct. But the absence of proof rarely slows collective outrage. And then, as so often happens in Korean celebrity culture, the public needed another figure to blame. This time, it was IU. Based largely on comments from Sulli's brother, who once mentioned that IU had introduced Sulli to a mental health treatment facility, some online communities began expanding the claim into something much larger: that IU had introduced a so-called demonic psychiatrist to multiple celebrities. What followed was less an argument built on facts and more an emotionally driven digital trial. Old statements from IU resurfaced. Her comment, "2019 was the year I had everything," made in an interview months after the deaths of Sulli and Goo Hara, was reframed as supposed evidence of emotional coldness. Critics and anti-fans weaponized the quote, portraying her as insensitive and, in some cases, even labeling her complicit killer. Yet perhaps the more unsettling question is this: when did the internet decide speculation was enough to function as evidence? Even the original claim contains major gaps. Sulli's brother merely stated that IU recommended a treatment center or hospital to Sulli. He never claimed IU introduced psychiatrist Kim Jong-il specifically, nor did he suggest IU played any role in introducing Goo Hara, Jonghyun, or Kim Se-ron to the same medical professional. The leap from introducing someone to a treatment facility to introducing someone to a psychiatrist responsible for suicide is not a logical conclusion, it is an emotional escalation. More troubling still is how internet culture processes celebrity tragedy. Whenever a public figure dies, society instinctively searches for someone to blame, a face to hate, a convenient explanation, a villain to satisfy collective grief and anger. Accepting that depression is deeply complex, shaped by invisible pressures and internal suffering, is far more difficult than crafting a simpler story centered around a single perpetrator. When Sulli died, blame fell on cyberbullying. When Goo Hara passed away, media pressure entered the conversation. After Jonghyun's death, the crushing expectations of idol culture were scrutinized. Now, online audiences appear eager for another simplified narrative: a malicious psychiatrist and an alleged intermediary responsible for everything. But real life rarely unfolds with the neat structure of a television drama. A psychiatrist may be effective or ineffective. Treatment may succeed or fail. Celebrities may carry layers of emotional wounds the public never fully sees. Yet reducing years of personal struggle and multiple tragedies into a single conspiracy with clearly assigned villains may be one of the most dangerous simplifications of all. Most troubling is that, amid this digital witch hunt, many seem to have forgotten the very lesson people once claimed to learn from the deaths of Sulli, Goo Hara, and Jonghyun: compassion. Because in the age of social media, the deaths of celebrities are increasingly treated not as tragedies demanding understanding, but as catalysts for the next cycle of spectacle, a place where emotion outruns evidence, and judgment arrives long before truth.